All right, we are set and ready to go. So this is the new Platform Power Up series where each week we are going to go over something that you can do when it comes to your marketing through your platforms to really help boost your business and boost your marketing. And we're going to go through like the real step by step. So if you have a setup where you have two screens, I challenge you to place the system that we're talking about on a separate screen while we're going through these step-by-step processes so you can see it on your screen in real time. If you do not have two screens, take this opportunity to log on to our meeting through your mobile device, and that way you can pull up your platform on your laptop. So if anybody needs to jump out and do that and then jump back in, go ahead and do that. I'll give you just a minute. But it is super helpful if you can see what I'm talking about in real time. So if you're going to do that, go ahead, jump in on your mobile device. We're going to go through a little bit more information so you're not going to miss anything. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So the overview, this is a 10-week series. As you know, I like to keep all of our trainings short and sweet. Just because it takes a lot out of our day to have a 3 or 4 hour training, and you really only absorb and maintain the first 30 to 40 minutes anyway. So you know how I like to do things. I like to keep them short and sweet. I'd rather break it out into smaller, measurable things that you can do during a week. So the same is true with Platform Power Up. Today, we're going to be talking about your agent website and how you can customize your agent website to really suit your brand and your voice. Next week, we'll be going over Google Business Profile and how you can set up and refreshen your Google Business Profile. Week 3, we're going to be talking about Facebook for Business. So if you guys don't have a Facebook business page, we're going to show you how to add one. If you do have a Facebook business page, we're going to show you how to use it. Instagram for Impact, we're going to be talking about Instagram accounts and how you can use those for your business. We're going to talk LinkedIn, which is probably the least used platform of social media. But when you're talking about networking and referrals and having credibility, LinkedIn is your online resume. So we're going to talk about how to scrub that and make it shine. YouTube and video marketing, everybody's least favorite subject, except for maybe Tobias, who has found his voice. I know Tobias is listening in with Ebony. He has found his voice in video marketing and has come a very long way. Super proud of him when it comes to video marketing. So we'll get his takes on week 6. Zillow and Realtor profiles, week 7. Email and CRMs, week 8. One Design branding, week 9. And everybody's favorite topic, social media lead machines. So how you can use social media and everything that you've done over the previous 9 weeks to start getting leads from your profile. So that's what we're going through. I have yammered on enough. I think I've given everybody the opportunity to jump out, jump back in. So we're going to jump right into it. The introduction, when somebody hears your name, gets referred to you, or sees you on social media, the first thing they do is look you up online. And the question is, what are they going to find? This training is built to be practical and hands-on. And by the end of this session, you'll not only understand what to do, you'll have specific steps you can take today and upgrade your website and your brand presence online. All right, so today is all about your agent website. And why does your agent website matter? So if you guys have never met Kathy Baker is the Vice President of Coaching for Realty One Group International. If you go to any of our international conferences like Summit, you will meet Kathy Baker. Kathy Baker is about 4'11". She's an older woman with sandy hair. She just is the cutest thing. Like, you just want to pinch her cheeks. But before you do, understand that her short stature does not mean that she's soft. She is a force to be reckoned with. And I love Kathy. And one thing I've heard her say at least a half a dozen times is, tell your story or somebody else will tell a different version for you. Think about how powerful that is. Tell your story or someone else will tell a different version of it for you. I love that quote. It is your responsibility to tell your consumers who you are, what you stand for, and the services you provide. If you don't, your competition is going to tell a different story for you. So it's important that everything that we put online is completely in line with our brand. So one, your website is your 24/7 online storefront. With the power of your website, you can serve your customers even while you sleep. Number two, your website is your lead capture funnel. Your website allows you to capture the market leads just like the big companies without the huge overhead cost. And number three, it's a credibility builder. What do people see when they search for real estate professionals or your name? Your website should be part of your resume. Okay, so it is your 24/7 online storefront. If you're in the lead program, then you know all too well that we receive a lot of leads online as a brokerage. And why? How do we get those? We get those because we are constantly improving our website. We're sharing our website out on social media. We're directing people from social media to our website to capture those leads. And that's what I want each one of you as individual agents to do. Your website is your money-making machine. When you compile that with everywhere else you show up online, you don't need to pay the big box stores to generate leads for you because you're generating them while you sleep. So let's look at the statistics here, and we're going to cover all of these. Okay, so do you know where buyers are shopping online? It's no stretch of the imagination that 49% of all consumers are on websites like Zillow and Realtor.com. These are your big box stores. They take all of the data from us agents, they put it on their website, and they spend billions, I'm not talking millions, billions of dollars in marketing every year to drive the traffic to their sites. But that doesn't mean that you necessarily can't use that to your advantage. If you didn't know, places like Zillow and Realtor allow you to have agent profiles at no cost on their website. We just need to make sure that we're optimizing these pages so that you're getting the most individual traffic from their efforts. 30% of all buyers start looking for homes through search engines. Search engines would direct consumers to places like your agent website, social media pages, LinkedIn, your YouTube. These are all searchable by your traffic. 12% of shoppers go to agent websites, 12%. And I know you're looking at the overall statistics and you're like, okay, 100% of consumers, only 12% are going to agent websites. But think about the conversion rate of a lead that you buy online. If you're buying a lead from Zillow, chances are the lead conversion rate is going to be somewhere around 5% if you're really good at converting leads. That is if you are a pro converting leads. For some of you, it may be less. It may be 2% or 3%. What would your life and what would your business look like if you were capturing 12% of the market buyers through your agent website, a tool that's already given to you at no additional cost? And last but not least is 6% on social media. So even though an individual has a really, really hard time competing with the big buyers like Zillow and Realtor, if we're looking at search engines being 30%, agent websites being 12%, and then social media being another 6%, all stuff that we can control, doesn't that open up a huge avenue for you to make connections with your community? So let's take a look further at your website. All right, so if you are on a separate screen where you are able, please go into your OneLogin and log into OneSuite. And I'm going to give you step-by-step screenshots as well as I'm doing this because it's really hard for me to do it while on a call. So I did it ahead of time and I got screenshots for everybody. So log into your OneSuite. And then once you are in your OneSuite, you want to go to the left-hand side menu and you want to go to My Website and you want to select on Website Editor. That is going to pull up the editable version of your website. The main components that you can change in your website are going to be your themes and layouts, your homepage builder blocks, your about and bio page, listing and search IDX integration, community pages, as well as contact and lead capture forms. And if I'm going too fast, anybody can unmute themselves and say, hey, slow down, okay? All right, so this is an example of my agent website page. On here, you can customize your banner image. So if you're going to customize your banner image, which I select all of you do, because when we set up your website, it has the same photo, the same like stock photo for all of you. So they all look the same, but not all of you are the same. You're all very different. You serve different markets, different type of clientele, and have different personalities. So remember, your agent website is your resume, and it should be as unique as you are, so that when a consumer comes to your page as opposed to somebody else's page, they don't think they're on the same damn page. It needs to stand out. It needs to be different. So customize your page for your clientele and who you want to attract into your business. First thing you do is you go to the three dots at the top of the page. You can see the bell in the top right-hand corner with the three dots. Go ahead and click on those three dots there. And then you're going to go to Manage Banner. Okay, so click the three dots. This is going to pull up and you're going to go to Manage Banner. Your Manage Banner box is going to come up right here. Now there's two ways that you can update your banner. You can go to Import from Library and you can use any stock photos that we have in the library. And there are many of them. There's a ton of them. Or you can click over here and click New. So if you have a picture of you, like a panoramic size photo, and you would want to use a panoramic size photo, or something that you've made in OneDesign or Canva as a banner image. I know Jamie has one that was customized to her that she uses on Facebook. That would be a great option, Jamie, for you to put on your website as your banner. You can upload that banner here. The only thing that I have to tell you is if you are uploading a photo, make sure that you own the copyright to that photo. So please do not go to somebody else's website and steal their photo and then put it on your website, because then you could get hit with copyright infringement and it's going to be a whole thing. So make sure if you are uploading that you are uploading something that you own. If not, if you don't have that yet, you can always put that in your list of things to do file for later on when you get photos again. And then just go ahead and click Import from Library. Now, when we do Import from Library, it is going to pull up our library image gallery. And there are a bunch of them in here. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a little button, which you can't see on this screen, that says Load More. Click that button and it will continuously load new photos. So even though it's only showing you like 2 or 3 rows at a time, go to the bottom, click Load More Photos, and then it'll bring up other ones. For this scenario, I have selected this photo right here. I already have this one on my homepage. So just for this exercise, I have selected that photo. All right, so now I have these 2 photos as my banner. All right, so you may have the question, like, why do you have 2 photos? Don't you want to remove one and keep one? The answer is that's really up to you. If you select one photo to appear on your homepage, that will be the only photo that is displayed. However, if you select multiple photos, then your banner page on your website becomes interactive and then scrolls different images and becomes almost like a moving panoramic video. Have you ever seen those property panoramas where they take the photos and they turn them into like a video style, display? Same thing here with OneSuite. So it will scroll through multiple photos and then your screen becomes a little bit more interactive, a little bit more eye-catching. For this training, I have selected 2.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So if I select another photo, am I going to then have to change, say like I have my logo on mine, and what if the color doesn't sit right with the new background? Will I have to update all of that as well?
You mean like if you were uploading a custom photo?
So say the photo that you picked, say I picked that one also, but whenever I put it there, my logo doesn't show up well with that sky in the background. Do I have to then go in and change the color of my logo?
I would change your background image to fit your logo.
Okay.
So if it doesn't and when I picked my photos, I picked it and then you can preview it before you publish it.
Okay.
So you can see what it looks like. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't like that one. And then I went back in and I pulled back up the banner photos, and then there's a button on there. You could just click remove, and then you can add a different one.
Okay, sorry, I probably got ahead of you.
And no problem. No problem. Yeah, so you can remove them. But yeah, there is, when we're all done with this, I'll show you where to publish it, and then you can publish it and make it live. But while you're working on it, nothing really shows up until you've actually completed and confirmed the steps. So once you have selected the photos that you like, you can click this X, and this will go ahead and save your banner photo. But like I said, if you save it and it doesn't look right, you could just repeat the steps and you can go ahead and select another banner image that really fits what you're looking for. Okay, next we're going to get into adding a custom page. So this is always a little tricky for people. So I wanted to make sure that I added this in because I get a lot of questions on like, hey, I added a page, but it's not showing up. When you're adding a page and you want it to show up in your menu, there's a couple steps that you have to take to make those two items connect. And if you've never worked with websites before, it can be a little confusing because you can have pages on your website that do not show up in your menu. So basically you can't toggle to them, but you can provide somebody a URL to get to that page for whatever, almost like a landing page. Or you can have a menu page. So the first step of this is to create the menu item. And to do that, you are going to go to the plus sign here. And that is going to pull up your navigator. So my navigator, it's asking me what label do I want? Meaning, what do I want my menu to say? So with me, I wanted to make a testimonials page. So I labeled it testimonials, knowing that that's what's going to show up in the menu header at the top of the page underneath the Realty One Group logo. Next, I want to tell it where to place it. So I don't want my testimonials page to be the very first thing that you see when you go onto my website. You know, I want it to be in line. So this is going to tell you, this drop down will tell you, where do you want us to place it? So I wanted to place it after the mortgage calculator menu item at the top. And just to kind of go back and show you, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I want the what's my home worth to be first, property search to be second, mortgage calculator to be third, and then I want my testimonials to appear here. So when I am filling out my navigation page, I'm telling it go after the mortgage calculator. Does that make sense? Yeah? Great.
Yes.
When I do that, it has saved the menu item to testimonials being right here. But as of right now, that menu link doesn't work. It doesn't go anywhere. If you click on it, it's going to stay on the home page because all I've done is updated the menu. I haven't routed to anything. So I do need to be able to route to the page that I want. So next we need to build out the page. So I'm going to click the three dots at the top right-hand corner of the main menu. And I'm going to click. Oh, what's that?
Quick question. Did you put it as a pop-up or a new window?
For the menu item?
Or keep it navigate open type. Sorry.
Open type, just navigation. Yeah, I don't have it as a pop-up window.
Okay.
Because I just want it to be part of my menu so that when they're toggling, they're going right over to the next page. Now you can do menu items that are pop-up. For this example, we're just kind of keeping it simple. So when we click here, it's going to go straight to the testimonials page. So, but you can use these pages for anything. You don't have to just do testimonials. It's just a commonly asked question of like, hey, how do I put in my testimonials? I'm going to, so that we're going to do that. This is completely, okay, somebody left me a message. I don't know what it says. Sorry. Doing these pages, you can literally do them for anything. It doesn't have to be testimonials. Now, before anybody jumps ahead, please don't make a community page this way. I am going to teach you how to make a community page, and that's something completely separate. So if you are going to name a new page, name it something other than the community page. So it could be like, let's see, what would you put on there? It could be testimonials. It could be join my team. It could be, whatever, it could be Rebecca's resume. It could be whatever you want it to be. But now that we have the menu item, you're going to go back up to the three dots and you're going to click the plus button that says new page. When you have your new page, your pop-up screen is going to show up, and then you're going to name it. So I'm naming it the same as my menu item, testimonials, and then you're going to put a page heading. Okay, so whatever you want this to say. It could say testimonials as your page heading. Mine, I wanted to make a little different, and I wanted to put what my clients are saying. Okay, so that's my page heading that's going to show up on my page. And then here you have to title the page. So titling the page is going to give your page a specific URL name. So you want to make sure that you are naming it appropriately. You don't want it to say just my page. So again, I named it testimonials. And then your page description comes up when you search engine your page. So if somebody says, I want to look up testimonials, or I want to look up reviews for Christina Hoffmeyer. Okay, that is how your page is going to be searched. So my page description, I kept it very simple. View testimonials from clients of Christina Hoffmeyer. And you can make this say whatever you want. Whatever you want. View testimonials and reviews from clients. You know, you can make it, I could extend it if I wanted to, comma, Realty One Group Ultimate after my name. For this training, I've kept things very simple just because you can only see so much of the screen, and I want to make it too long so that you can't see anything. But that's kind of what I put in just as an example. Next, you want to choose your layout for your page. Okay, so you choose your layout and you can select from any of the layouts here. Again, I kept it very simple. You can build on this. I kept it with my title up here, with my testimonials here, and I left this space to add on later so that if I wanted to add like a featured testimonial or a featured client and a photo of like their closing date or something, if I got the permissions to do that for a client, that I could add that in. But your layout can be as very basic or as very flashy as you want it to be. It's completely up to you. Once you've selected your layout, go ahead and click the button at the bottom that says Create. All right, once you hit Create, you are going to have this page show up. Remember how I titled the page where the heading of my page was, what are my clients saying? That is right here. So that automatically appears for you. This item in the bottom, you see all this nonsense in the bottom, which is like not a real language. This is what you edit and add in your own individual testimonials that you've taken from different websites. If you want to gather your testimonials very quickly without manually scrubbing your websites, one little trick you can do is go into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that you want it to grab the top 10 reviews on you, put your name from Facebook, Zillow, Realtor.com, Google, wherever your reviews are, wherever you're collecting your reviews. And ChatGPT will grab all of that data and give you your top 10 reviews. Okay, if you're using a platform or system to collect reviews for you, you can log into your system and you can grab those reviews there and copy and paste them in. How you do that is completely up to you. I use ChatGPT and it took me all of 30 seconds to do it. All right, any questions thus far? No? All right. Once you grab all of your testimonials and your reviews, then you can copy and paste them into this page. Now, when you copy and paste, like if you were using a single blank page where you have one square, you're able to move the text around the page. You're able to make it longer. You're able to make it centered. Or if you're using a template like I did, where I have 2 columns, you can see that it's squishing everything into that column box, and it's leaving this side here where I can customize it later. So with me, I would like to find one of my clients who allows me to share their photo and their testimonial online so that I can feature one of my clients over here. Now, for this training, I didn't have that readily available. I actually kind of thought of it while I was doing the training, and I'm like, oh, that's an awesome concept. I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, I didn't have all my ducks in a row before our training, but this is why I have this blank space here, because I'm going to build on it later. Some of our best ideas come from like actually doing. So I think in the future, I will be adding on my page a photo and a testimonial of one of my clients here. All right, once your page looks exactly the way you want it to look, you're going to go back up to these three little dots, because these three little dots are your lifeline to your entire website, and you're going to click Save. And that is going to save your page. All right, so this comes back to Jamie's question. Once I have everything on my page the way I want it, and I'm like, okay, great, I've put everything together, everything looks great, I want it to go live, okay? You go back up to those three little dots, and then you pull down, and this shows, which says Publish. If this doesn't appear, it means that you haven't properly saved something so that it can be published. This Publish button will only show if the system has shown that you've done all the steps necessary to be able to publish a page. So if you are on your testimonial page and Publish does not show up, it's because you haven't clicked Save yet. So click Save, and then out-click of it, go back into the three dots, and then Publish will appear. So you need to click this Publish page, or your site, your new page will not be visible from the public URL that you have. Okay, so make sure you don't forget to push the Publish button. All right, so now we have our menu item and we have our new page set up. But if you go back to your home page and you click on testimonials, it's still not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere because you have a menu item and you have a page, but we haven't married the two together. So how do we marry those? I'm going to show you. So remember how we named our page. We named our testimonials page, and I said I wanted to keep it very short and sweet, and I just wanted to name it testimonials so that it matched the menu item. There is a method to my madness because I can't remember complicated URLs. I can't remember all of the steps that I did. So I wanted to make sure that I named my page the same as the menu. Okay, so we're going back in and we're editing the menu item. So we're going back in, and where it says link to, that's where we're going to put that custom URL for the page we just created. So to do that, you're going to put HTTPS with the two dots and the two forward slashes, and then your Realty One Group URL, which is your first name, last name, dot myrealtyoneGroup.com/, and then the title of your page, which matches the menu item, testimonials, because work smarter, not harder, right? All right, so once you do that and you link it, you will be able to direct the menu item to your page, okay? So this is where that open type question that Rebecca had came in. This is where you would determine how people are going to get there. Native just means when they click on it, the page switches, like normal transition of websites. You can also have a pop-up window, so you can do that as well. But I suggest if you're doing a main page like testimonials, you just do native, where when you click on it, it just takes them there and no new pages come up. Pop-ups can be used in certain situations. However, lots of people have pop-up blockers, so I tend not to use a pop-up unless I absolutely have to. So when you're done with that, go ahead and click Save. All right. So any questions on custom pages and how to connect those to your menu bar?
Yeah, for the website, since I did my own, like the Rebecca Scarnati salesrealestate.com, would I put that there instead of the original URL that we're given?
I don't think so. I think that you are going to do it based off of the given URL, because your given URL doesn't change. So like I can put in your given URL and it's still going to take me to your website, even though you have URL masking.
Okay.
I mean, try it and let me know if I'm wrong, but I think you still just use the Realty One Group URL.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? All right, let's move on. this is all about customizing widgets. So on your Realty One Group homepage, if you scroll down below your banner image, you're going to see a bunch of featured listings, sold listings, what's my home worth, sign up for my app, all of those things. Those little boxes are called widgets. So widgets are imported into your website and fed by an exterior third-party source. When it comes to our featured listings, this is called IDX integration. And so if you've ever listed something online and you have that little IDX button, that's what that means. Does the seller want their data to go outside of the MLS onto other sites? So this is how all of that happens. So that data comes in there and then it's pushed or it's scrubbed by third parties and the information in the data is taken somewhere else. So our site is no different. Okay, so this is a widget. It's an IDX integration. It automatically happens. I don't know why you would want to take it away, but you absolutely can do that. You can remove these widgets from your website. I don't recommend it, only because this is your shopping website and you should be giving access to your products to consumers, but you do you. Your agent website is completely customizable to you, but you can change these widgets at any time. If you want to edit the widget, you go to the top where this little gear is here. And when you click on that, it comes up edit, manage my featured listings, or hide. So if you want to edit the way that it looks, you would click the pencil. If you want to select the featured listings that are going to show up on your website, you can do that by clicking here. Or if you want to get rid of the widget, you can hide it. All right. Now, just food for thought. If you are going to go in and manually manage your featured listings, you absolutely can do that. Just understand that once you start fiddling with the featured listings, it's not going to automatically update. You need to go in and manage your featured listings. So if you're featuring something that is no longer on the market, it's not going to show, and you may not have any featured listings on your homepage. So this is why when we set up your website, it's automatically on there that it auto feeds based on what your current listings are. Okay, so if you fiddle with it and you don't update it, it may no longer work. Okay. So I suggest keeping everybody's featured listings exactly the way that they are because, time's a killer for us. But again, you do you. All right. So if we click edit, this is where it's going to show you that you can edit the heading. So if you wanted to say Belle's featured listings are newly listed by Belle, or, Ebony's amazing listings, or whatever. Again, get creative with it. You can go ahead and do that. So you can change the heading right there in the title. It says featured listings. You can change the verbiage on that. You can change the font, the size, the font color, make it bold, make it italic, whatever you want. You can also change the background color and the template as well as the layout. All right. Any questions on your widgets and customizing your widgets? No, it's pretty simple. Those are pretty simple to do. All right. Next, we're going to go into adding communities. So if you want to add a community page, what I want you to do is go back to your OneSuite, go to the left-hand side menu, click on My Website, and then click on My Communities. I'll give you a second to do that because this is a big one, and I get lots of questions on this. All right, once you're in My Communities, there is a little button that says New in OneSuite. Go ahead and click New. And it may be hard, this one may be hard for you to get all of the data in right away, but at least put a placeholder in there. And if you have time after this training, then you can jump off and you can get right back into it and start making your edits. Adding communities is actually really simple. If you have the data in front of you, but at least we can go through the processes and get your page started. All right, once you click Add Community, this pop-up box is going to come up. Remember, we're in OneSuite, not in the website editor. You must do this through OneSuite. So go ahead and name your new community. I named mine Elwood City, and then it's going to ask you for the city, zip, zip code, and county. It's very important that you put this information in appropriately because, again, we have IDX feed technology, and for your community page to run properly, you must make sure that you have this information in here, or the system's going to have no idea what you're doing. Okay, so when you put in the city and the state and the county, the SEO name is going to come up automatically for you. This can be changed, but unless you are really savvy with SEOs, I just suggest that you leave it exactly as you found it because it's pretty good at naming your stuff. Next, when you click on, sorry, I got ahead of myself. So when you click here in the description, the minute you click in there, it's going to pull up this page. Okay. So you can't see that transition, but say I put my cursor here and I click on it. Sorry. It's going to pull up this description box page, and it looks very much like a Word document. Okay. It's very easy to use, pulls up like a Word document. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I told ChatGPT specifically what I wanted to know about Ellwood City. And I told ChatGPT, like, tell me a little bit about Ellwood City. I want to know about the history. I want to include population and housing markets. I want to know about local businesses that my clients should know about in Ellwood City. Tell me about the school districts. Tell me if there's any golf courses, any clubs, blah, blah, blah. So I was very specific and gave it a bullet list of like, this is the information that I want you to pull. So when I pulled this information, I was able to copy and paste it in here. But one thing I did, which is very important, is that I edited the information that was in the description to ensure that I was not violating fair housing. So one of the things that ChatGPT pulled me was the school ratings and the overall feedback of the schools within the community, which could be seen as a fair housing violation or steering. So I took that information out. You can also see that it provided the resources with these links inside my description. So I didn't want those resources beside every link. So I took out all of the resources on each line and I added a resource down at the bottom that says resources collected from Wikipedia, Ellwood City Borough, and visitlawrencecounty.com. Okay. All right. So once I was happy with my description, I saved it and it returned me to this page. This is the page that we started on, okay, when we're adding a new community. So next it's going to ask you to insert a cover page, a cover photo, and a banner photo. So again, I want you to be careful that if you are searching photos for your community online, please ensure that these are not copywritten images. So there's, fortunate for all of us when it comes to pictures of a community, you can often find photos of the community because we are small communities that are available for public use. Just make sure you check the copyright image of that photo, or better yet, take a photo yourself. All right. So you will need to upload the cover photo and a banner image for each. So you could do that now. And if you have a video URL, something that you have made or something that's available out there to share, you can put a video URL right here in the video URL box. Once you do that and you have all of that stuff loaded in, one very important thing to do is go down to the optional listing criteria. Okay, don't miss this step. Optional listing criteria, and I want you to click edit. Once you click edit, this new box is going to come up that says new search criteria. And then you can put in the radius information of the featured listings that are currently on the MLS that you want to appear on your community page. So with me, I selected Ellwood City and I wanted 2 miles from the Ellwood City Center to appear on my community page and have that IDX feed down at the bottom. Once you've done that, you're going to go back to your new community page and you're going to click Save and Close. All right, questions on this so far before we move on? No? Everybody's got it. Love it. All right, so once you click and save, you're going to see that your community has been added to your My Communities queue in OneSuite. If it is here, it means that your community page is now live on your website. There's nothing else you need to do. This is why this is the easiest way to add a community. Okay, so you can add community menu pages in OneSuite, but again, you have to go through that whole testimonial, like adding the menu item like we did with the testimonials, and then adding the page, and then building out the page, and then connecting the page. Doing the communities this way automatically adds it in. It's quick, it's easy. You can update it very easily. If you want to update that page, you just click this little button here with the pen and paper, and you can go back and you can edit those pages at any time. And having it in your queue tells you which communities are active and which ones aren't. Now, you can add as many communities as you want. You know, I don't think there's any limit on communities. I think we have 3 on our main page, and I have to add a few more because I add one every time we open an office. But you can add as many communities as you want to. But I would suggest only adding the communities that you personally serve and ones that you know a lot about. That way you're being seen as the expert within that market. All right, when we toggle back to our main page, so this here is a picture of my main website. You can see that under my About Me bio, look, featured communities, Ellwood City shows up. It happens automatically. Now, I can change where this shows up on my page. So if I want to go in and change or arrange like how my widgets are shown. So maybe I want to have my featured community, instead of under my bio, I want to have it under my featured listings. I can totally do that by going in and rearranging my widgets using that gear. But I have it right here. I'm keeping it right under my About Me, so they can go right into my community pages. When you click on this photo, this cover photo that you uploaded, when you click on the photo, or you can click right here on the button, either way, it takes you into your actual community page. So you can see here that this is my community page. This is the banner that I put in. And here's my community overview, the history. And as you scroll down, it takes you into all of that data that I put in about Ellwood City. When I go to the bottom of my community page, you see this homes for sale in Ellwood City. This is the IDX feed that I fed in when we were doing the optional radius, and we told it like pull listings 2 miles from the city center of Ellwood City. That's how this appears. It does it automatically when you put in that radius search. So that will appear at the bottom of your page. Now, keep in mind, when you're setting up your community page for the first time and you go in on your public link to look at it, it may just say homes for sale and have nothing. Just allow 24 hours for that to populate. It does take a little time. So I've had people ask me in the past, like, hey, I put it in and it's not working. Give it 24 hours, try it again. If it's still not showing, you may need to go into your system, remove any cookies and caches that you have for that site, and then go back into it. And a lot of times it will appear. All right, that's all I got for you on your agent website, and it took us about 50 minutes. I don't want to keep anybody longer than that, because I know your attention spans are dwindling by the second. What do we got? Open it up for questions, comments. Anybody? Thanks, Belle. Thanks, Belle. Belle said so helpful. Anybody else do any of these steps while we were on the call today? No? No, you guys are quiet. Either you guys are like all
I did.
Excellent, April. Excellent.
I did the testimonials.
That's great. It's a great thing to add to your website.
I did as well. I just now have to find the testimonials.
Use ChatGPT.
I did.
ChatGPT
I
couldn't
didn't get
find
anything.
mine. I know. I had to go on to Zillow and rate my agent manually to find mine.
Yeah, you can get them from a variety of sources. Like I said, if you use ChatGPT, the more specific you are with ChatGPT, the better it works. So be specific, be very intentional with your ChatGPT to make sure that you're getting the best data. Like I told it specifically, like I wanted 10 testimonials from these sources, 4 stars and above, and it will give you those. So, but definitely make it unique. If you have any questions about your agent website, please feel free to give me a call. I'd be more than happy to screen share with you and help you through it. I can't say that I am an absolute expert. Sometimes I need to call tech support, but if I don't know the answer, I'll be calling tech support to figure it out. So come up with your ideas, make your website uniquely your own. And next week, we will be going over Google Business Profile, how to set up your Google Business Profile, some things you can do in your Google Business Profile to get more eyes on your account and you as an agent. All right, so same time, same place next week. I'll see you guys then.
Thank you.